Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com helping you create something awesome today. Welcome to another YouTube 30 of 30 channel review. In this series, I'm reviewing channels from 30 YouTubers and I'm telling you what they're doing awesome and also giving them some tips on how they can improve. This entire series is sponsored by our friends over at TubeBuddy, who make a great browser plugin that's helping me audit these YouTube channels. It's something I use for my paying clients. You can use the TubeBuddy browser plugin to find out how you're ranking in YouTube search, what your competitors are doing, and when the best times to upload your videos are. There are a ton of great features and tools in TubeBuddy, and it's something that I use here regularly on the channel, and it is my secret weapon when it comes to dominating YouTube search. So make sure you're checking out that plugin at tubebuddy.com/awesome. Links are in the description. So let's go ahead and jump into today's review.
Hey you guys, so doing another YouTube 30 of 30 review here, and we're going to be looking at PrimoTrev, who is a YouTube gamer. Now, many of you who have watched my YouTube channel growth videos have heard my comments or have heard me in live streams know that I am hypercritical of YouTube gaming channels. I think that what Trevor is doing here is interesting. I think that I can give him some advice on how to improve. The problem that I have is not with games on YouTube or with YouTube gamers. It's with the strategic component of feeling like it's all very much the same or that it's not very well executed. And even when people try to do something unique, the execution of it sometimes is very flawed. And that's something that I'm very hypercritical about because everyone knows how saturated YouTube gaming is, and yet I see a lot of people in my comment section who are struggling with their YouTube gaming channels. They ask the same questions over and over, and I find that's a lack of research. Now, the interesting thing about Trev here is that I think there's a lot that he's doing right, but I definitely think there's room for improvement. So let's take a look at his overall videos. One of the things I see that immediately needs to change is the frequency of uploads. This is a general problem with YouTube gamers, and a lot of it comes down to the motivation is driven by views and subs, and that means that if they're not getting the views and subs they want, sometimes for as much effort as they put in, they're not motivated to do more videos. And the thing is, the first year or two on YouTube, that is just what you're in for and what you can expect. When I went to VidCon, a lot of the big YouTubers mentioned the fact that it took them as much as 4 years to get their first 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers. And we see people get discouraged or stop making videos or slack on them after 6 months, a year, 2 years. And a lot of them have more views and subscribers than the big YouTubers had when they started. And back then, not a lot of people even cared about YouTube or were aware of it. You could make the argument that it was easier because there was less saturation, but less saturation also means less people are watching overall. So the competition for views I don't think is as much the factor as people want. I think it's a matter of quality. There are some thumbnails here that are pretty amazing, and then there are some that are not so much. So there's no consistent theme or branding across these thumbnails. Now with gaming, it can be a little different. Sometimes you want the individual thumbnails to stand on their own, but if they're going to be part of a series or playlist, they should be a little bit more consistent, but they should also still be able to be differentiated and well read. A lot of these thumbnails are hard to read. They feel very cluttered. They feel very uncomfortable, and that's not going to necessarily get a click. So that's problematic. Let's see which videos are performing the best though. So here's a video that was from a year ago that got over 100,000 views. But then the next most viewed video is 20,000, and then it goes on and on from there. I think that some of this is the views on some of these videos might be a matter of timing or a matter of what's interesting at the time. And even here, there's a video from 9 months ago where it's, "This is my last video, ... I don't know if that's meant to be clickbait or I don't know. It's just hard to figure out what's going on with this channel, but since it is getting views, even with a small base of almost 10,000 subscribers as they make in this video, you can see that videos do get a ton of views and they got a great ratio, and that he has a community build here. I think that's awesome. I think that's something that's being done well. But I definitely feel that the lack of consistency in the quality of the thumbnails, which is the first gateway to clicks and views, definitely matters. It's not that all the thumbnails need to be the same or on a system or be generic in any way, shape, or form. I just think that there is a quality issue in the terms of the thumbnails in general, and I think that you know Trev's got enough Photoshop skills clearly to where that shouldn't be an issue. I feel like this Mario Maker thumbnail could have been better. Um, let's take a look at the titles, descriptions, and tags. So there's a lot here going on in the description, and very little of it tells you anything about the video. The first line here tells you about the newest video, and that doesn't do anything for search. It should have something about Mario Maker. Mario Maker should have been one of the first things in the title here, because that would have gotten a lot more views and search terms, and there should have been more about Mario Maker here in the description. There's nothing to tell YouTube that this video is relevant to anyone who cares about Mario Maker. That's the problem with a lot of these gaming videos, is simple things like the bread and butter basics of YouTube, as far as, look here, we've got all of these tags. Some of them have nothing to do with what this video is or the title or anything that we would search on. You know, you're ranking for PrimoTrev. Awesome, you're ranking for your brand. But there's nothing here that you're really ranking for, and we're going to drill down into this. There's nothing here that is associated with Mario Maker, and if I was interested in Mario Maker or buying it, I have no idea if this video helps me make that decision, or is more curious, or shows me more about the game. So over here in TubeBuddy, we can see that none of these tags are ranking except for PrimoTrev, which is a branding tag. There's nothing here ranking, and there's nothing that I can suggest in search, because while some of these would be great, the problem with it is there's nothing in the description at all to tie these together for relevance. And a lot of you have underestimated how many times I've said that the description, titles, and tags gelling together really matter. But I hope that this video review series of me going through individual YouTube channels and showing you how videos are not being discovered in search because there are no tags and descriptions and titles that sync up for us to put in a search for Mario Maker Challenge and find these videos, that it matters. You know, it's very hard to discover a video if there's no way for you to find it by searching in, and YouTube saying that, oh, well, there's all this content in the description that is, again, not spammy, but is an actual paragraph of content, like a blog post. I mean, if you guys think about it, Google owns YouTube. YouTube is a giant video search engine. All the same rules from websites and blogs apply here. All the same rules apply. That's what helped me get discovered. And when everyone says that it's so hard to make it in YouTube, especially as a gamer, the basics here are being ignored. And I think that that's the real problem. So if I could give you any advice, Trev, I would say back to basics, my friend. I would say back to bread and butter. It's a gaming term you should know. Mario Maker Challenge, Super Mario Maker Challenge, 100 Mario Challenge on expert mode should be the title of this video, and it should be the first thing in the description, and then you should have 3 lines describing what that is and about Super Mario Maker, and then 1 or 2 paragraphs about the game under that. And then you can have all of these different social media things and everything that you want to have. And then this video get more exposure, more views. So if you're a YouTube gamer and you're watching me review this gaming channel with about 10,000 subs, and you're wondering why it's hard to make it as a YouTube gamer, a lot of basic YouTube stuff is being ignored. And if you want to say that the big YouTubers aren't doing this, they've already made it, so they don't need to worry about it nearly as much, and they can just ride their sub counts. And sub counts aren't a guarantee of anything, but If you have that, then they can expect a certain amount of views, or they'll get shares, or they have a community that will share it a lot more in social because they have those big subscriber counts. They have super fans. So there are 5,000 people that are going to tweet it. And that matters. That makes a difference. This video got very few shares in social media. So there's a reason why it's hard to make it as a YouTube gamer, and most of it is just ignoring basic YouTube advice and YouTube strategy that the rest of us all have been relying on to get exposure for our videos from the beginning. So that would be my advice, is definitely work on that. I would work on your thumbnails. You have the Photoshop skills. I would say that you have a community, you have people who love what you're doing, so your content's probably fine. It's not necessarily the kind of thing I would watch. I would take more advantage of playlist. I would think about a content strategy that, you have 8 videos here around Super Mario Maker. I would, do more with that, and I would have used more of Super Mario Maker in the thumbnails. You have the Photoshop skills. I would take advantage of those things. And I would definitely do a little better on the about section of the YouTube channel. It's great to see what your growth has been here. That's not bad. For a first year in YouTube, 10,000 is great. That's about what I did. But I really think that for as big as gaming is, and for some of the content that you reviewed, your channel could be bigger if you get back to the basics. You take advantage of TubeBuddy, tubebuddy.com/awesome. And it's not just because they're a sponsor. I think I've shown how this could really help a lot of you in this series. And it's a tool that I use. And before I used it, I had basic SEO skills because I was a web designer. TubeBuddy is something that if I wasn't a web designer, and even though I am, I still use it. I still find things that I'm slipping on or that I didn't think about by using the tool specifically for the search engine value. So I would go back, I would look at your tags, I would improve these videos. You have a community, let's grow that. And that's definitely what I would suggest you can do about improving this channel, Trev, and I hope that works out for you.
So that's it for today's review. If you want to check out more videos from this awesome creator, make sure you're hitting them up. Links are in the description below so you can check out their channel. There were a lot of great tips in this review. Maybe they can actually help you improve your YouTube channel if you're doing something similar. I want to thank our friends over at TubeBuddy for sponsoring this review today. I couldn't be doing this without them. They make my life a lot easier, and it's something that I think could help a lot of you. So make sure you're checking that out at tubebuddy.com/awesome. I think it'll help you grow your YouTube channel. Remember, there are 30 total YouTube channel reviews in this playlist, so if these tips don't apply to you, maybe something that I gave to another creator in terms of advice is something that would be more helpful for you with your channel. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. Remember, YouTube tips are usually on Fridays. As always, you guys, thanks so very much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.